All right, so anyways, I'm trying to, I have a quick word, and it's something that I've hit on before, but I just feel like in this season, just to give us a reminder, it was going to be very timely and needed here. So, John 21, starting in verse 15, this is when Jesus has returned from the grave and defeated hell, and he's back with his disciples, and he's about to, obviously leave and ascend to heaven. But he's here in verse 15. It says, when they had finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" And he said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." And he said to him, "Feed my lambs." And he said to him a second time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" And he said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." And he said to him, "Tend my sheep." And he said to him a third time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" And Peter was grieved because he said to him the third time, "Do you love me?" And he said to him, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." And Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep." And, man, I know that I kind of mentioned that, I think last week or a couple weeks ago I'd mentioned something about this just in closing. But that has really been striking me the last couple weeks or so, just with the Lord and the way that he phrases things, the way that he asks the question 3 times, just to reiterate the fact, like, if you love me, you will feed my sheep. If you love me, you will feed my sheep. Like, that is the crux of it all. And I think that the reminder that I wanted to give this morning is just, was Peter a leader of the church? Yes, obviously. He was a pastor. Like, he helped create what we know as the modern day church. But when Jesus is saying this, he's not saying this to Peter as a pastor. Like, feeding the sheep is not the responsibility of just a pastor. He says, "Do you love me?" And Peter says, "Yes." And he says, "Then you feed my sheep." If you love the Lord, you will feed the Lord's sheep. That is the crux of it all, is it's not about being a pastor. It's not about having a position, which is great. If all of you in this room, you have your own ministry. You have your own people that you are called to feed, your own sheep that you are called to feed, regardless of if you have a title here or not. It does not matter, but you love the Lord. If you love the Lord, you will feed his sheep. And as I was going through, I was like, man, that is like, how many times have I gotten that wrong over the course of my life, where it's like, well, it's not my responsibility because I'm not, when I wasn't a pastor, because you're not a pastor, you're not in this ministry, like, you're not called to do this thing, whatever. But like, no, it's you still have the responsibility. You have the responsibility to feed the sheep. You have the responsibility to be the salt and the light. Like, that is your calling as a lover of the Lord, is to feed his sheep and be his light to the world and draw those sheep in that are lost. So yeah, I just wanted to give us that reminder of, man, it's all of us working in unison. It's not Matt trying to pull us all along. You know what I mean? Like, it is us all loving the Lord and going of one accord forward, feeding the sheep. Everybody that comes into this house needs to be fed. Everybody that comes into your workplace needs to be fed. Everybody in your family needs to be fed. And if you are a lover of the Lord, that is your responsibility, to be the one that is feeding them, to be the one that is showing them the love of Jesus in moments where maybe they've been starved for a long time. And it's your responsibility to bust out the dish and feed them. Like, that's you. But yeah, and just the last thing here that I'll hit on is just the honor that it is to serve in a place like this. I know I've mentioned this multiple times before, but I think that it's so easy to take for granted what we have, and we obviously want more people. We want to grow. We want to be reaching more people and have more people being touched by the Lord in this place. But what an honor it is to wake up every morning and get to serve our God, to get to serve Him in any way imaginable, that He would allow you to do that for Him, because He doesn't need anything. But He wants you to serve Him. He wants you to be the one that is feeding His sheep. So yeah, that's what's been on me, is like, man, what an honor it is to be able to show up to a place with other people who are just seeking the Lord's heart for this city and be able to pour out to Him. I just don't want that ever to be lost on us, that being able to gather and worship Him and pour out in a worthy offering of worship is the honor of our lives. It's not something that I want to wait until I get to heaven to pour out that kind of worship. It is the honor of my life to be able to sit at this altar and worship Him. So yeah, that's what I got. So.
Come on, what a great word. Come on.